So Ali, it's so good to manage to grab a quick conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining me via the powers of Zoom. Would you just like to introduce who you are, where you are, a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my name's Ali Birkett, and I am up here in the Scottish borders. I'm a tenant farmer on the border, actually farm in England, just on the North Northumberland side, but I live in Scotland. So the farm is on one side of the border and I live on the other side of the border. We're tenant farmers farming an arable farm up here of 550 acres. We don't have our own livestock, but we have livestock on the grass on a seasonal basis through the summer. I've been here now 17 years farming the farm, and it was my father-in-law who was doing so before. As well as farming here, I work part-time for Rural Ministries, a Christian charity that works with rural churches, pioneers, and anybody with a glimmer of an idea to see rural church grow. So that's a little bit about who I am and where I am.
That's fantastic, thank you. And I should say, so I'm Sarah Hulme, for the benefit of people watching, and I'm the Methodist Rural Mission and Ministry Officer. So you've already given us a sort of geographical location. Do you want to just try and describe to me what life is like for you in the borders?
Yeah, probably one of the best pictures I could give, Sarah, is something that a story I often tell about our farm that is quite close to my heart, because I think it kind of sums up in the big picture of what I want this conversation to be about and the questions I wanted to raise. Because one of our fields is, we farm right next to the River Tweed, which comes right down the border between Scotland and England. The farm, as I say, is on the English side in North Northumberland. And the River Tweed is a good salmon fishing river. And there are people who come right down through our farm on a track that comes all the way down, right down to the river. And the fishermen come down there to enjoy their day of fishing. And where the little fishing hut is, there's a beautiful little shield on the side of the river there. And it's in this one big 50-acre field that's down by the river. We call it the Hoch, which is a bit of flat land next to the river that this beautiful big field is on. And the fishermen come down there and they park their cars, and there's a little hut there, and they sit and have their coffee, and then they go off fishing, and the grass is beautifully cut. And it's a beautiful space between the edge of the field and the river that they enjoy. It's a place where they go to relax and to recreate, enjoy a hobby, and see the beauty of God's creation. So hold that little picture. And we move back from the fishing hut through a 12-meter wide strip of environmental stewardship margin, which is 12 meters of grasses and wildflowers and wonderful clover-rich grasses and wildflowers at this time of year, and their blues and reds and pinks, butterflies and bees and all that kind of wonderful stuff that I want to champion and support as I think about the environment. So you hold that picture as well. We've got the fishing hut, a place of recreation. We've then got this 12-meter environmental strip, which is so important that we look after and steward the planet that God has given us. Then beyond that and into the rest of the field is around about 38, 39 acres of modern arable farming food production. And that's the picture that I see is really important as we try and hold all these things in tension. We can use the land that God has given us to allow people to enjoy and recreate. We have to use the land that God has given us to see sustainable environmental projects going forward. But we also have a moral obligation to produce food for a growing population in our world. And I like to tell that picture and hold that story of that one field along the bottom of the farm that gives some sort of context to arable farming in these modern days in the UK.